Is it just me, or does laundry seem like a really personal thing? Some people do whites and darks, some people do whites, darks, colors, some people just do one load and that's it. But what if I told you I met someone who took laundry to a whole new level? Huh? This video is loads of fun. Get it? Loads of fun.
Boo! Get off the stage!
Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, The Diaries of DIY Danie, the place where I share my love of DIY and help solve your home decor dilemmas with a custom solution. In today's video, folks, we are cleaning up. Oh, the puns are gonna be on fire in this episode. All I'm saying is brace yourself. My journey to create a custom built 5-compartment laundry organizer was a DIY journey. I felt like Frodo on the way to frickin' Mordor. Not a single ounce of hope, but as we all know, he gets that ring into the lava. Spoiler alert! And that's exactly what I did, but more like put socks into a bin, not a ring into the lava. Yeah? And of course, before we start this DIY diary, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on those bell notifications because I got more hacks, more DIYs, and cool custom creations coming your way in 2020 and you do not want to miss out. Now that we got all of that sorted, let's go sort our laundry. Oh, I'm so funny! Roll the tape. This diary started when Karen and Jackson, a lovely couple from Toronto, reached out to me looking for a custom solution to their laundry woes. I always knew that laundry organization was a very important thing, but Karen girl, you took laundry organization to a whole other level. Karen does darks, whites, colors, PJs, socks, delicates. Six compartments. I asked her, why do you do socks all by themselves? And she's like, well, I always lose my socks. So if I just do them all together and keep them in one spot, I never lose socks. That's genius. Bravo, Karen. And Karen and Jackson already had a really great laundry organization solution in their space. They had this cute little nook in their bedroom completely dedicated to the laundry. There was an entire wall of fold-down drying racks and then this small laundry sorting rack for their laundry. It worked, but it just wasn't really pretty. Those plastic laundry sorters are great, but they're kind of an eyesore when you just want a really nice space that reflects who you are. And when Karen reached out to me, she was looking for a solution that utilized those tilt-out laundry organizers, but everything that she saw was either too small or too big for the space that she wanted it in. So she came to me and I said, challenge accepted. So here was my plan. I'm building a 5-compartment tilt-out laundry organizer. The body will be built out of wood and painted white to match against her rad purple walls. I'll add a little detail on the front and use black pull drawers as handles. To keep it nice and modern, I'm finishing the look with blonde tapered wood legs. The compartments will be organized by darks, whites, colors, PJs, and a share compartment cut in half for socks and delicates. I'm also going to be giving this nook a little upgrade, adding in 2 floating shelves for extra storage, a cool light and plant to add a little ambience, and finished with a big woven laundry basket for folded goods. So first things first, off to the hardware store to get my materials. So I'm on my way to Home Depot. I got a new family member today. Say hello, Dad.
Hi there.
So that's my dad. But we're also, I guess, going shopping for a Halloween discount. This was shortly after Halloween and my dad's obsessed with the holiday. So he always likes to get the post-Halloween deals when everything's like 50% off. So we had to make a little detour while we were shopping. Halloween, Christmas. Bless. Listen, beggars can't be choosers if you're gonna get a ride. Boy. The big thing was getting all of my cuts done at the hardware store first. So I always say when you walk in, go with a list of materials that you need and with the cuts that you need to make them. I mean, guys, we gotta work smart, not hard, right? Oh yeah. And if you're curious about any of the materials I'm using to build this project, you guys can always head over to my blog. I actually provide a full material list and step-by-step guide on how to build these projects. So I've linked it down below and you can go check it out. All right, build day one. Right now, what I need to get going on is taking all of my wood. Some of it, as you guys know, was pre-cut at Home Depot, but I need to get cutting all of my 1x3 and a couple of the longer pieces, which is my top and bottom. And then we can start actually assembling this. Duh. Music time. First step, make sure your saw's plugged in. Oh, daddy. So first things first, I had to build the general frame of this cabinet. So I started cutting all of my 1x3 lumber down to size. I was cutting the frame and some of the lumber I was going to use to build the frame for the tilt-out portion. I have no idea what I was listening to at that moment, but apparently I was in a dancing mood. Just getting groovy. I can crack beats sometimes. Please don't judge me. And everything was going really great until I hit a small snag. I have all my boards now and I started outlining my frame on the bottom. But when I bought my boards, I realized that the 1x3s that I bought were actually kind of like the builder's grade 1x3. So let me explain kind of what went wrong. While I was at the lumber store, I did in fact buy a 1x3 lumber, but the 1x3 I bought was something called strapping. And what strapping is normally used for is when builders are building a home, they'll put strapping in a wall or along a ceiling, normally to compensate where studs aren't going to be. So there's nothing wrong with using that 1x3 lumber, but the issue was the thickness of those boards are 5/8 of an inch, not 3/4 of an inch, to which I made my entire building plan around. Don't stare at me, I know you're judging me. It's just a mistake. And now I've already made my cuts, so I wasn't taking it back. But listen, we all know this project works out, so let's all relax. I had a plan. Essentially, I have these offcuts that were from the plywood, and we're gonna rip the offcuts into two pieces that are 1x3, and then I'm just gonna keep these in the middle as my braces. I mean, the only 1x3 pieces that were really putting a hitch in my plan was anything that was going to be on the outside that you would see as an aesthetic piece. All the inside structural pieces could still just be used with the strapping lumber. It was not really a big deal. So I don't have to buy any more material, I just have to do a little bit more work. Isn't that my life? So I really only had to cut two pieces because that was gonna make up the front frame. So I was back on track and it was time to get this skeleton structure finished. And with the lack of room that I had, it was just so much easier to do this on the ground. Using pocket holes, ta-da! Wood glue and 1 1/4 inch pocket hole screws. I got the frame built and then I had Jeff with me and we kind of both looked at each other and realized I should have put pocket holes on the inside frame so that when I go to put the top on, you could just kind of drill right up into the top and then you wouldn't see any exposed screws. I should have thought of that ahead of time. Last minute decision, we're gonna pocket hole it. So he helped me go back and we started pocket holing on the inside. This is a little bit of an unconventional way to get pocket holes on something, but we definitely made it work. And I'm really glad that I took the time to do that because a lot of people end up picking things up by the lip if you're gonna move it out of the way. Just thinking about Karen and Jackson, okay? I just wanted to be secure. So once I got the frame built, got the new pocket holes into it, I was able to pocket hole my uprights and get those attached really quickly. Starting to see the shape now. 1 drawer, 2 drawer, 3 drawer, 4 drawer, 5 drawer. Do you see it yet? All right, it's bedtime. I am a little tired. Cup of joe. Today, I am building the front doors and the frame that sits inside it that's gonna hold the laundry bags. I have all of my pieces here. Now all I need to do is just start assembling all of this. I mean, it was pretty easy peasy, just a couple of wood screws and some wood glue. And Bob's your uncle. I just need to add the tops onto these guys and we should be good. Ta-da! Looks like this. Got a bottom, it's got a frame, it's got a front door. Ah, didn't that frame look so good? You don't really know if your plan on paper is gonna work out, but you could just start to see it all envisioned, and that was really exciting. I have this. So once I had finished the first door, I ended up trying to see if that laundry bag that I had sourced would actually fit inside as I hoped. Oh my God, I think it works! It works! That's so cool! Yes! What a relief! I actually ended up getting rid of those wireframes, but I'll explain that more later. Now I just need to build 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 front frames all completed. Now all I have to do is just wait for Jeffrey to come home so he can help me finish the frame. Hallelujah, I'm gonna go eat a Jamaican patty because they're delicious. Actually, they're kind of gross, but like secretly kind of delicious, like pizza pockets. Yes. Jamaican patty at its finest. Okay, I finally have Jeffrey here. So now we are going to attack this big piece and get the whole frame built. Then let's do this. Yep. Yep. Okay, moving on. So actually putting together the body of this piece was relatively painless. It really just needed 2 people to be able to maneuver it around, which is why I waited till the end of the day so Jeffrey could help me out. Doing great.
You gotta help me here.
I'm just gonna
put it on the floor. Yeah, there we go.
It's a good thing we put these pocket holes in early. Wiggle my way in here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I think it would just come around.
Well, no, that's easy. Oh my God, we got a frame. Okay, so why don't we flip it now?
No, you should get on the other side because the garage door opener is in the way.
Yeah, my garage is definitely a place that I make work. Sometimes you just need a DIY partner. It's working!
Good job, man.
This is the final piece. These will come out and there'll be a little stopper inside. High five, board. Yes, I high-fived the board. I don't want to talk about it. Good morning! Oh, I feel sick. Big day ahead of me today. I now need to sand. At this point in the project, I was starting to feel pretty good about it. All of the worrisome parts were over. Now just came most of the beauty and aesthetics part. So first on the docket, it was a light sand and then some edge banding. Edge banding is basically like a strip of wood veneer that you'll use to cover up a plywood edge or an edge that you don't like. It helps give a piece a really nice professional look. And it's really easy. You simply apply it on with an iron, then just use a straight edge to slice away any unneeded overhang, and that's it. Well, I will normally add a little wood filler in some edges to really bring it all together, but that's just optional. I love edge banding. I always think that it just makes a piece look like $1,000,000. Now, I didn't have enough edge banding to do the whole piece, so I just chose to do anything that was outward facing or anything that you would see when you pull out the doors. Once that was done, it was time to move on to the next cosmetic thing, which was adding the molding to the front of my doors. For this, I was using a decorative baseboard molding. Nothing fancy, I was just cutting it using my miter box and a handsaw at a 45-degree angle, and then just securing it with wood glue and a brad nail. I mean, it was looking so good. It wasn't even painted yet, and I was like, this is cool. So exciting. And it had already been a really long day at this point, but I was on a timeline and I needed to get this thing painted. So I just picked up a paintbrush and started. To paint this piece, I was using an ultra matte white chalk paint. Needless to say, by the end of it, I was pretty well covered in paint, but like that's pretty normal, and I think all of my clothes now have paint on it. Like, I'm pretty sure there's paint on this shirt. You just gotta find it. Easter eggs. 'Twas the final day and my spirits were feeling high. So the plan for the day was to get the door hinges on. The bottom of each door is going to get 3 of these. All of the hinges are now on and the door magnets on. Check this out. I ended up finding the coolest latch for this piece. This is like a little lock mechanism. It's a little magnet, so you can see the little magnets in there. I'm going to put this on the top lip in the main unit, and then this is gonna go on the door. So it'll go lock into place like that. So this is gonna work perfectly for my needs. Just keep that door closed. And then once I had all that done, it was time to just add the feet.
The troll peeks out from under the bridge. You secure the legs.
As you know, the 5th drawer back there is 2 compartments. So I have this little sack. It's a laundry sack. Bought it off Amazon. It's got a little drawstring at the front. I'm going to hang these little hooks for them in each corner, and then it's just gonna hang in like a nice little square. Then I simply attached my pull hardware. It's like a very subtle, polished, modern looking black pull. And I was super excited about it. Oh my God, my first drawer pull. I did it! Guys, the drawer pulls fit. Very excited. And a little steel plate on the back of the tilt out so that it would stop in place when you pulled it out. So remember when I told you I was going to be removing the pre-existing metal rods on those laundry bags? The drawer wouldn't actually close properly with those metal claws over top. So I just scrapped that and ended up sourcing some steel rods that I cut to size and added little rubber ends to make it nice and finished looking. And it worked out great. So to hold the bar in place, I came up with a plan to use teacup hooks. And it looks okay. It works. And there it is, the finished cabinet. Yoo-hoo-hoo! Oh my God, I finished. I was feeling on top of the world. Bam! Now all we have to do is install. Ooh, 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 ooh. My first course of action was to secure the piece to the wall so it wasn't going to budge or fall forward. And as I mentioned in my plans, I came ready with a full makeover in that space. I put up 2 floating shelves above the unit, added in a nice modern looking table lamp and some faux greenery, and some nice baskets to give them some more storage options. And voila! Take a look at that! A completely custom made 5 compartment tilt out laundry organizer. Oh my God, I couldn't get over how good that piece looked in the space. There's just something about that nice crisp white and warm wood tone that looks so good against that purple. It was just so clean and modern. I just loved it, every second of it. Mwah! Mwah! I just want to say that this DIY laundry organizer was by far the most intricate and most difficult DIY I think I've tackled yet. I definitely have times where I question, do I have the right skills and abilities to actually make this project? I just want to share that with you because I question all the time whether or not I can do something, and I know that if I can do it, you guys can do it too. So if you're ever feeling self-conscious or overwhelmed by the idea of picking up a tool, just do it. Pick it up, learn, because it feels so good when you make something that you're so passionate about. And don't get me wrong, there were times I wanted to throw in the towel. But I didn't want to do a little more laundry. Oh dear. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys loved this DIY diary. If you want to see more big builds like this, let me know in the comment sections below, and what kind of big custom builds you want to see. Spaces you want me to see tackled, because I love your suggestions and I take them into account. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, bye-bye. Like really, every sound you can make right now. I start filming and all of a sudden he's like, oh, I want to go drink. Oh, I want to go walk. Oh, I want to look at the window. He was just sleeping like 2 seconds ago. Does he have to be doing that right behind me? Boo boo, that's a very loud toy.